Shabbat Shalom, everyone. One more time. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. It's so wonderful to have you all here on this beautiful sunny evening as we enter into Shabbat together. We begin with the words of Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim, how good and pleasant it is for all of us to be sitting here together. And indeed, it's so good and pleasant to see warm faces here celebrating Shabbat. And we'll take a moment, actually, I'm going to do it now before, and Miriam, you can start playing the melody underneath if you want, beautiful. I'll take a moment to introduce Miriam. This is Miriam Oderberg-Moss, who we have accompanying us and also offering some vocals tonight. She's one of our students that grew up and now is an adult teacher with us, a musician. So we're so grateful. And we're also going to say Shabbat Shalom to all those who are joining from home. Jamie, I'm going to guess it's a red light. Awesome. So we're going to look at that camera right there, and if you are willing to turn around and just wave and welcome everyone, Shabbat Shalom. We're so glad you're here with us. Feel free to get your Shabbos candles ready, because we'll light them in a little bit. But we begin, page 10, Hine Ma Tov. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad. We'll do that again. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad. How good it is, how good it is, how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is,
how good it is,
how sweet it is,
how sweet it is
to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Back to the top. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad. Hine Ma Tov U'Manaim Shevet Anu Gam Yachad.
Oh, it is so lovely to be together. A deep breath, slowing us down, air conditioning. Rabbi Jason, Rabbi Dana, we already mentioned, and so much gratitude to Miriam for your beautiful music. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, I think, Louie tonight. I don't know. Thank you to everyone for making this a beautiful Shabbat. Even though the sun is still out, we'll light our candles and begin our evening, our 25 hours of rest, of reprieve, just a little break from the crazy world. Cole, Margot, you willing to help us light the candles tonight? Come on up, Cole. Come on up, Margot. And for those of you joining us from wherever you're joining us from, light candles along with us. That would be lovely, so we can fill our homes with the beautiful Shabbat flames. If you want to join for the blessing for these candles, page number 2. Hello, friends. Hello. Who's going to be in charge? You're almost an adult.
I'm just gonna fire.
Cole, you got this. Go, let's do it. We'll just give you fire. That's fine. Just take a moment. Let the light come into our hearts and into our eyes and into our beings. And join in the blessing together.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu le'adlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We'll continue with the welcoming of Shabbat, the welcoming of each other on page 20. Lecha Dodi, the mystical poem which welcomes in Shabbat in the form of a bride. Sing with us, sing with us. We do just a couple of these verses. Verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. We'll announce those as we go. And some have the tradition to rise before that final verse, facing the door to greet Shabbat. But join us as we sing together, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 p'nei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor vezachor v'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmo echad, Leshem ultiferet litchila. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem ha'zegula, ze'of ha'aseh v'machshavat tchila. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, ki va'orech kumi ori, 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 shir daveri, kevod Adonai alayich nigla. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat.
If you choose, we face the door to greet Shabbat.
Boi v'shalom ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha uvtzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, boi chala. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, alalai, alalai,
Be seated.
B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi likrat kalai, alalai, 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 B'nei Shabbat nekavela.
It's appropriate that we continue on page 24 as this section of the service is Kabbalat Shabbat, the receiving of Shabbat. We welcome the Shabbat. Now the angels welcome us in peace and send us off into the world in peace. We say Shalom Aleichem. We sing and welcome each other.
And you know what I like about this beautiful blessing, Rabbi Jason, is that the words, only the first word of each verse really changes, except for the first time there's one little word that's different. But otherwise, all you have to do,
What's the other word?
there's ateret, but then
Oh,
it goes,
yeah.
I know. But otherwise, only one word really changes verse to verse, so it makes it nice and easy. So
Nice
join
and
with us. Join with us. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mimelech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא בואכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברכוני לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון next verse ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא now it's צאתכם לשלום מלאכי השלום מלאכי עליון ממלך מלאכי המלאכים הקדוש ברוך הוא הקדוש ברוך הוא.
A poem to transition us into our evening prayers. I don't have the author for this poem. I just like the poem and its topic, which is appropriately entitled Summer Sunsets. The moment arises with the sun heading south, the easel blank, as white as the morning clouds. Tubes of paint spring from their holders as this northern Picasso spreads color on the scene. Yellow sands merge with dark blue waters. Speckled with white foam breakers line through the sea. Red skies blend into purple as the summer sun says goodnight and the crested moon says hello. As the stars twinkle amongst the sky, we enjoy the constellations. Perhaps some of us enjoyed the northern lights. Did anyone get to see them? Did anyone try to see them at 4 a.m.? No. Tonight and tomorrow at some ungodly hour. The rescheduled. We move to page 28. Page 28, my friends, as we enter into our evening service, we welcome you to rise either physically or spiritually as we begin the evening prayers with Baruch Hu.
Yai da 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 yai da da yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 yai da 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 yai 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 da da Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed HaMevorach HaMevorach Le'olam va'ed.
If you're standing, please be seated. Join me in the English, if you choose, on page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night. rolling away light from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, Ma'ariv Aravim. Ahavat Olam, page 32.
Ahavat olam, Beit Israel, Amcha avta, Torah u'mitzvot, Chukim u'mishpatim, Otanu libadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, V'shokbeinu uvkumeinu, Nasiach bechukecha, V'nismach bedivrei Toratecha, Uvemitzvotecha, Leolam vaed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu ve'orech yameinu uvahem nehege yomam yomam valayla ve'ahavtecha al tasir mimenu leolamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shabbat asks us to do one thing, to be for ourselves in space and time for one day of the week. We don't have to produce or do things for others, working and toiling away. All we need to do is be present, be with loved ones, and take a moment to really just be here. Because that's all we need to be right now, here together. We say the words of the Shema together on page 34 and 35. If it is your custom to rise for the Shema, I invite you to do so. If it's your custom to sit for the Shema, I invite you to do so. We pray together. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Ve'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Ve'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu
you're standing, please be seated. You're welcome to join together in Ve'ahavta, found on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'eleh Asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech u'shochtecha uv'kumecha Ukshartam leot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, uktavtam al mizuzot beitecha, uvihisharecha, leman tizkeru, v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim lelohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher Hotzeiti Etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Lihiot Lachem Le'Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem
Adonai Elohechem Emet. Yasher koach. We turn to page 40. I believe, as we sing our wonderful song of the sea, our Micha Mocha prayer, our song of freedom. And so I invite you, if it is your custom to dance, you can dance. You can dance in your seats, you can get up and dance, whatever works for you. But it's Micha Mocha. Find a way to move it through your body, through your spirit. If you're not going to dance, tap something just to feel the depth of this melody and this prayer, in addition to singing it together. Page 40. Let's join together. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 Micha mocha ba elim Adonai Micha mocha ne'edar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef elef Nora tehilot osef elef Malechutecha ra'uvanecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Ze'elianu ve'amru Ze'elianu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Micha mocha, sing with Micha mocha va'elim Adonai Micha mocha ne'edar b'kodesh Nora tehilot osef elef Nora tehilot osef elef.
It's a beautiful night. Page 46 is where we continue as we enter the next part of our service. It's our Amidah, so I invite you to rise either physically or spiritually as we join together in prayer over the next few pages. Page 46 is where we begin.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi aki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up our lips that our mouths may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekone HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch Ata Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'ezrat Sarah, Ata Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Atarav le'oshia, Morid Hatal, Mechalkel Chayim bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech olim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishene afar, Micha mocha baal gevurot, Umido melach, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman ata le'achayot hakol, Baruch ata Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Ata kadosh, v'shimcha kadosh, U'kadoshim b'chol yom yehallelucha selah. Baruch ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
We take a moment for silent prayer through page 62. Once you've taken the time that you need for yourself, you're welcome to be seated. 253, page 253, a prayer for healing. We invite you to add names out loud. Keep those names in your heart. People who wrestle, who struggle, who need love, support, comfort, patience, and care. That person might be yourself as well. We invite you to share names out loud so our whole community can join in these prayers and we can support one another. Page 253.
Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say,
Every year, ESPN, the cable sports network, hosts an award show called the ESPYs. Even as that name sounds pretty self-serving, and it is. ESPY stands for Excellence in Sports Performance Yearly Award. Pretty much, the ESPYs are an annual sports award show. This year's ESPYs were this past Wednesday evening, and one of the most important awards given each year is the Pat Tillman Award for Service, named for a former football player who left the NFL and enlisted in the U.S. Army following 9/11. Tillman served in Iraq and Afghanistan, but sadly died from friendly fire. The award is presented each year to those who have served their community. This year's winner of the Pat Tillman Award for Service was the whole training staff of the Buffalo Bills, who heroically saved football player Damar Hamlin's life when he had a cardiac arrest during a game in January. It was a deeply powerful moment as Hamlin presented the award on stage to the whole training and medical team that had saved his life. During the very powerful remarks by the head athletic trainer, he commented, "We're not used to having the spotlight on us. We were just doing our job." We so often overlook, take for granted, or fail to truly honor those who stand in the back, just doing their work, but make things happen. Frankly, it's one of the greatest lessons in my mind from the most difficult moments of the pandemic. When essential workers finally received some recognition, but how quickly those lessons have been forgotten over time as well. In this week's double Torah portion, the book of Numbers comes to an end with the final two sections, Matot and Maseh. While there are a few elements of instruction, there is plenty of summarizing and recapping over the previous 40 years in the wilderness. Numbers 33 lists all of the various stages and stops of the previous journey, naming each encampment one by one. But in the middle of these names, only one event causes the list to pause and bring us to attention. It's not Sinai, it's not Ten Commandments. Only one event pauses this list. There's only one that really caught the eye of the author, and that's the death of Aaron, Moses' older brother and the first high priest. It says there in Numbers 33 that Aaron died at the age of 123, was buried on Mount Hor. Consider Aaron. Yes, he was the brother of Moses and the high priest. No doubt two characteristics that make him far from being just some generic person in the crowd. But strip away those titles, Aaron quickly becomes a simple, passive, stand-in-the-back kind of character. Rabbi Shmuel Rabinowitz writes, Moses was the nation's leader, its navigator. Aaron was his assistant. Aaron accompanied Moses to Pharaoh and spoke when Moses had trouble speaking. Aaron hit the Nile when Moses felt that he owed the Nile too much gratitude. Aaron was the second in command who stood on by and often did what Moses wouldn't do. Later, the Torah tells us in great detail about the death of Moses prior to the nation entering the land. Moses tried desperately to appeal the decree. As the leader of a nation, Moses gave a powerful speech guiding the nation on issues of morality, which is almost the entire book of Deuteronomy. And Aaron was silent. He just went about his work. We never get a speech from Aaron in the entire text. He did his own thing. Aaron's not perfect. He had plenty of failings of his own, as noted during the golden calf and the death of Aaron's first two sons. But it seems clear that Aaron was meant to be a background character, just doing what needed to be done. But what is fascinating and important to our celebration of those behind-the-scenes workers is how the people ended up stepping up and celebrating Aaron even more. Interestingly enough, this is only one of 3 times that we hear about Aaron's death in Torah. The first is when Aaron actually died. Remember, our Torah portion is a recap. In Numbers 20, we read that Aaron died at the site of Meribah, and the whole people of Israel mourned him for 30 days. Then in Deuteronomy 10, Moses is retelling the history of the people before they crossed into the promised land. Moses says that Aaron died there at the Mount of Mosoreh. Now, there are a number of interesting commentaries and inconsistencies between these various accounts, which serve to highlight the role and importance of Aaron within the community. First, you might notice that Aaron died in 2 different places according to the text. And geographically speaking, Meribah and Mosoreh are quite far apart in the desert. So what gives? Medieval sage and philosopher Bachya ibn Pakuda says there's actually no confusion. In fact, these 2 different sites were a sign of the people's reverence for Aaron. He references another commentary, Avot Rabbi Natan, that says when Aaron died, the cloud of God that rested over the tabernacle disappeared in an act of divine mourning. The people were so moved, or possibly in shock, from the disappearance of the divine cloud that they actually backtracked through the wilderness from Mosoreh to Meribah, shaken by the loss of Aaron, the disappearance of the cloud. That is quite the tribute to receive. In truth, neither Miriam nor Moses receives the similar homage. Even when Moses died, the divine cloud did not disappear. Furthermore, as I just referenced in the text from this week's Torah portion, the whole people of Israel mourn for 30 days. Moses in Deuteronomy gets a lesser crowd. So what do we take from this and how Aaron's death is treated in the text? For one, even in his loss, it is uplifting to see how the people recognize his role and contribution to the journey from slavery to nationhood. The 18th century commentary known as the Or HaChaim says that Aaron actually had a more profound impact on the people than even Moses did. Yes, Moses led them, judged for them, guided them, shared God's law with them. But Aaron, the text says, Aaron was a lover of peace and brought peace to the people. It's amazing to hear that. Even with all that Moses did, bringing the commitment of peace, that sense of ease was even more important. Consider again the Buffalo Bills training and medical staff, or the essential workers, or those who don't do the splashiest, most headline-grabbing things. But those people sure do make us feel a lot more comfortable, at ease, and at peace, knowing that they're around and they're just doing their jobs. At the SB Awards, the head trainer also said, the idea of service is definitely something that is ingrained in our profession and we take great pride in. I admire that. And the infinite number of workers who's contributed acts of service thousands of years ago for our people and wandering in the wilderness, to the thousands and thousands of workers getting up each day and just doing their job. We as a society owe them much more in terms of equal pay and benefits, safe working conditions, social respect, and more and more. We owe them our gratitude, for they, like Aaron, bring us peace. There's nothing wrong with working behind the scenes. I actually personally prefer it. Just head down, doing the job in front of us. That is an act of service. And sometimes that is the most important job of all. We begin to conclude our service on page 282 at the top of the page. We welcome you to rise either physically or spiritually for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287 ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד.
If you're standing, please be seated. Page 294, Kadisha Tome, a prayer of memory. We are in the Pir the Shloshim, the 30 days of mourning for Charles Crickman, father of Rachel, father-in-law of Stephanie, grandfather of Zephyr and Zachary. Herbert Rich, father of Jennifer, father-in-law of Lou, grandfather of Dylan and Tess. Ray Glassman, mother of Deborah, mother-in-law of Ian, grandmother of Naomi, Pamela, Ethan, and Melissa. We're observing the yahrzeit, the anniversary of passing of Joseph Berg, Julia Blacklow, Irving Bryan, Luigi Ciccali, Laura Dawson, Glenn Dawson, Harris Dubrow, Rosalind Earth, Ruth Freed, Beryl Greenberg, Irving Handon, Philip Kahn, Sarah Kaplan, Ida Magnus, Milton Osherwitz, Gordon Peterson, Jacqueline Pitagorski, Abner Shapiro, Barry Sarles, Jean Schur, Joel Shapiro, Faye Zlotterin. If any names have been omitted or mispronounced, we invite you to share them with our community at this time. If you're in the first 7 days of mourning, you're welcome to rise. If you're in the first 30 days of mourning, you're welcome to rise. If you're in the first year of mourning, you're welcome to rise. If you're observing a yahrzeit on this Shabbat, you're welcome to rise. If it's your tradition to rise in love and solidarity, we welcome you to do so. The Mourner's Kaddish, is found on page 294. Yitkedal v'yitkedash shemei Rabbah be'alma divrach yurte v'yamlich malchute v'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dochol beit Yisrael v'agala u'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mivarach ha'olam almei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shemed kudasha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nachamata da'amiram be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim alenu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imramav hu ya'asei shalom alenu ve'al kol Yisrael I'll call Yoshvei Tevel v'imru. Amen. Yoshvei Tevel, all who dwell on the earth. If you're standing, please be seated. Before we share simchas and joys, we recognize that no joy is complete without gratitude. We're gratitude that the Shabbat gathering is happening on coastal Salish land, specifically of the Duwamish tribe. In addition to gratitude, we commit ourselves to learning and continually to active support indigenous people and their tribes. And let's have moments of joy, simcha moments. And I invite people to share something good that's happened in your life in the past week. Could be small, could be big, but in this way, we can learn about each other, celebrate each other, and get to know each other. Start with Veronica over here.
Tomorrow's my birthday.
Oh,
Happy birthday, David. Making sure we're online so everyone at home can hear.
We got to see Julio Rodriguez set a record in the home run derby, but more importantly, we got to see him with his father at the stadium, which was a very special moment for Sydney and me.
That's awesome. Over here, between the All-Star game and Taylor Swift, so much happening downtown.
Hi.
Taylor Swift.
Hi. I'm Louie, and I'm here to give a simcha for my friend Jessica, whose throat is really in bad shape and unable to do it herself. First good news is all the cancer that was in that throat is gone, and she's going to live a long, healthy life. The other part of the simcha is that her voice is shot, so she can't tell us about the wedding she just went through of her own, so to an old friend of hers. So she's very happy.
Mazal tov. Good news all around. Good news all around. Do simchas and joys. Might as well give a shout out as well. I did it on a Shabbat video. We build relationships here with our joys and with barbecue. So sign up. Our annual barbecue is about a month away, August 18th.
And we're not celebrating anyone special or
God,
anything.
it's gonna be miserable.
There's nothing unique going on. Nothing at all.
It's going to be a service marking my end of my transition here. And sitting on the bima with people saying nice things about me sounds miserable.
But we're gonna really enjoy doing it.
It was definitely on my mind as I dropped the drosh about being in the background.
Well,
Kiddush and Motzi, page 5. No, I'm grateful for my time here. Don't get me wrong, but I don't like compliments. They're weird.
Here, I'll give a different simcha just so he has a moment to, let his face deflush. Which I got to see the musical 6 finally with my wife, and it was fantastic. So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend. Now, Kiddush?
Now, Kiddush on page number 5.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho, be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reshit, ki hu yom techila lemikrae kodesh, zecher letziat Mitzrayim, ki vanu v'acharta, ve'otanu kidashta, mikol ha'amim, ve'shabbat kodshecha, ve'ahava uvratzon, hinchalatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh ha-Shabbat.
L'chaim, l'chaim, l'chaim. Rabbi Dan, make sure it's a kosher blessing. And we'll join together in blessing of Motzi or Challah. If you choose to join arms with those around you or elbows, or at least connect as a community one to the other, as we break bread as one and say, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'te'avon. We close with this. We thank Miriam and again, and Jamie and Louie and Kim and all of you. And
342 or 340.
340.
342.
That.
Oseh Shalom, or it was on the page we were just on. So join with us. Words of Oseh Shalom, of continued peace. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh Shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. One more time on the Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Yasher Koach, Miriam. Thank you, Jamie. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Thank you.